playing on Veterans Day. How about the significance of that day and getting a chance to play football in honor of those on that day?
No doubt. And truly, if you're ever going to do it, I mean, what a perfect place to do so. I'll say this about that state, about the islands there. They're fabulous with service members, and the bases that have been there for quite some time. Ironically, the Doolittle Raiders, what spurred it all initially is what occurred on December 7th, 1941. So a real honor to be able to play there.
Played a very pass-centric offense a couple of weeks ago in Fort Collins with what they call the air raid. How different is what they call the run and shoot and the preparations for the two?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it really is. The difference is here, there are four receivers, almost all one back, four receivers. And they're all removed from the box almost always a good ways from the box. And so it really strains your coverage. I think the other part, they're gigantic up front. I mean, these guys, you look at how wide they are and how thick they are. And so the width of trying to get around that double door, just how powerful and the way they root down. I mean, if you try to run into them, they don't move. I think the one tackle's like 6'8", 320. And so there's just no way to replicate that during practice.
After breaking down the film, kind of what went wrong offensively, turnover-wise and everything?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it. That was a big part of it. Was right? I mean, you got to have possession of the ball in order to score. If you don't have the ball, you aren't scoring. And I think the other part is just making first downs too.
Doing anything differently this week, like protecting the ball or kind of any drills to kind of make sure that you guys are holding it this week?
We will, yes, sir.
And adjustment-wise, just this bit long trip, what adjustments are you making so the guys are acclimated?
Well, it's we're going to leave a little bit earlier. We're leaving on Thursday afternoon, and just all the preparation that goes into how do you hydrate, making sure you're getting up and moving, every 90 minutes or so on the plane, up and down the aisle a little bit, going to the bathroom or making yourself go to the bathroom. Hopefully hydration's forced that too. Those are things that are part anytime you make a trip like this. And really, golly, it takes a pretty unique level of maturity too. We shared this with the guys yesterday. I mean, there have been a good number of teams that have gone over there from Air Force, where maybe you give up 30 or 40 or 50 points, and it's just a completely different, but an awesome environment in which to play, though, too.
Defensively, going from one system to another, how tough is that?
It is, because I don't think that the quarterback this week he's probably going to have a couple less carries, so yeah, it is. It's a new world that way.
Speaking of the quarterback, just looking at his recruiting profile, he had some Ivy Leagues. Lehigh, I think, was on there. Was he ever, I realize it's a little bit different skill set, but was he ever on your radar?
He was not. We were aware of him, but he was not.
And then looking back one more time at last week, do you involve yourself at all in the psychology of moving past a game like that? In the way you talk to anybody or any resources?
No.
Okay. Are you at all concerned about a hangover effect from that?
Should you be after you win a game?
Well, it's a little different situation because the ball came out, because some of the things that are not typical of your program happen.
Won't be the last time it happens, unfortunately. You'd rather it not, fundamentally. But it, hopefully it doesn't happen real soon. But at some point it will.
Is there a significant impact at all on the backside of this, getting ready for the next game with getting back considerably later than you normally would, even on an East Coast trip? And have you had to work ahead of the game to mitigate that?
What we did do was in the summer, anytime you have a week that's a little bit different than next week, where it came up this year would have been Utah State. We played on a Saturday night in Houston, came back to Colorado Springs and had a short week, so we tried to do some work, on Utah State this week, and then Boise too. So, or not this week, but next week, yeah, something you look at.
How pleased are you with the progression of Caleb Rillis as a pass catcher, and have you guys been looking to get the ball to him? I think he's had a catch in 5 straight games now.
He does have tremendous, the catch radius that he does have, anytime he extends his hands, and you just see, the size of the target. There are guys that really may not be comfortable extending their hands, and so the catch radius is, maybe about a foot, or his is, a good bit longer. Does have tremendous confidence in his ball skills, how hard he works, his focus, his energy, and how much he cares.
He also has a unique situation in that he is in the transfer portal now. Most guys do that and they're not with the team anymore. He is, because of the unique situation here. Have you interacted with other coaches about him now, or is that something that happens later?
We've been asked, about him. And, he is exceptionally bright. So I think any kind of graduate school, I think he could go to any graduate school out of the 27 schools that have graduate schools. And I think he has 2 more years of eligibility left too. He might only have one. I don't, I think I got to look back and see how many he played in 21. He might only have one more. No, he does have 2 more years left. Yeah. He'd at least have 1 year and 4 games, at least at a minimum. And, he'd be a great addition.
Is that a weird position to be in for you? Because obviously it's extremely unique, and you would want to have the guy, but you can't. Do you have any thoughts on just
I
that
do.
situation?
I just can't share them publicly, Yeah, I definitely do. We're getting ready for a game this week, and they have a quarterback on their roster that was supposed to play against us in 2020 in our first game of COVID that year, and because Altitude didn't, end up graduating from Navy, and he's playing for Hawaii this year. Right? Who wouldn't? Sure you do.
And schedule-wise, while you're out there, you mentioned Pearl Harbor. Will you take any opportunity to
We
visit?
will not. And the reason why is we aren't going to go until Thursday afternoon. And Friday's pretty much full, for the work that you have to do with meetings, with your walkthroughs. And then we'll move afternoon meetings up a little bit just because of the time zone, just in terms of what's involved there. So we won't. And when I was a player, we actually went on Wednesdays. And we went Wednesday morning, and we practiced on Thursday, and then we did go to Pearl Harbor on Thursday.
Why would you not do that anymore?
Just, it's an extra day. And the preference really is, I think, so much of what you're able to do here, I think especially just having all your players involved, and I want to be in school one more day too. That's the real reason.
And you mentioned the 4 receivers, how it strains your coverage. Gaylor didn't play last week. I don't know his availability, but it's a position, secondary in general, that's been stretched with injuries. And how are you looking depth-wise to
You're going to play. I don't think you could go to any program in the country and anybody would say, hey, we got every single guy that was here at the beginning of the year. And, even position groups, probably half our position groups, that's the case, not just, there. But it does, to answer your point in regards to the coverage part of it, I think the part that's so hard is they're so big up front that you think, oh, he's got so much time to throw because they're so big and he's got so much space. And the ball comes off his hands so clean and so fast You think, all right, do we add a fifth to the rush? And there are times we're going to. There are times we won't. Because that now changes if you're in a zone, you're playing a 3 under 3 deep zone, or if you're in a man-free concept, there's one less underneath player too. And so, those are the things that you really have to sort through in terms of the scheme part of it.
What is the difficulty level of turning the page after a day like that? When it had to be massive disappointment, not to mention the physical mistakes. Like, how do you put that behind you so quickly?
I think turning the page is actually pretty easy because everyone wanted to win so bad, and because we didn't, we have a lot more to prove now. This is a huge setback for us. So in order to get over this, not only do we have to win, but we have to start beating teams by a lot.
Okay. And then obviously with the CIC, the chance to win it gone. Now you can kind of look at that versus Mountain West. If you had to take one, would it be the Mountain West, or how do you look at those?
I mean, I wouldn't be able to choose one over the other. Something that is special is we've never won a Mountain West Conference Championship, and so just to be a part of a team that has the ability to play for that is unique.
Just watching the tape from Saturday, what did you see? What were some of the mistakes? Obviously turnovers, and also what are you guys trying to do to correct that?
It's just what we've noticed this year is we want to beat Army and Navy so bad that when we play them, we don't play like ourselves. Mistakes we make against those teams, we don't against other teams. And I think it's just everyone wants to win so bad. The stakes are so high that we do stuff that's unorthodox. Our coaches, I know a lot of the players, their coaches on Monday showed them 6 plays where we should have had a touchdown on each of them, but just mistakes we messed up. So the plays were there. Just football's about minimizing mistakes, and we just didn't do that very well.
Are you the envy of your peers because you're going to Hawaii this week?
I'm envying my parents right now and my whole family. They flew out on Sunday, so they're there for the week, and then we fly out on Thursday. So
that's a good excuse. It sounds like, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, that obviously you never want to lose, but it sounds like maybe this was a blessing in disguise, what happened against Army just going forward. Is that fair to say? Or
I wouldn't say it was a blessing. It would have been pretty awesome to go undefeated, but now that we didn't, you can at least gain something from it. You don't want to just learn nothing from a loss. There's a lot to learn from that, and so you got to find the positives in bad situations.
So your situation is very unique in that, you're in the portal while still playing and all of that. And I totally get all the unique things with Air Force. How has that impacted anything? Are you hearing from a lot of teams? Is it, what is that process like?
So I never want to have my team or anyone think that I'm not fully involved, because I am. This is the school I've always wanted to go to as a kid. Going in early just gave coaches the opportunity to watch me play during the season. I've had contact with a good amount of coaches, and they're interested, but it's not affecting my gameplay at all. It's school first for me, then football, and then all these side conversations. But that's the order for everything.
What kind of grad school programs would you be looking at?
Right now, the Florida Gators are talking to me, and then Virginia and Rice and some other programs.
Okay. What, for school-wise, what are you going to study at the next level?
I either want to get an MBA or a master's in systems engineering or mechanical engineering, or anywhere that I'm able to go to. Something that's difficult with the grad school opportunities is you can't go off of a full athletic scholarship. It has to be academic, so that makes it difficult, a little wrinkle. I'll definitely be going to grad school no matter what. I just don't know the exact school or the exact location, because I have to work with our own school and other programs in order to make it work.
I'm just curious how, because we didn't talk to Zach after the game. How was he taken Saturday? How was he rebounded from it, and who's kind of his support system from what you see?
His support system's just our teammates. I mean, the hardest part about being a quarterback is when you play amazing, people expect you to play like that, so you're not getting the praise you deserve, and then everyone just on the littlest mistakes want to say something. And when you're in the spotlight like that, it's easy to like see a mistake, whereas other positions, like I could have played the worst game of my life, but people from the outside don't know like how blocking works, and so there's just a lot of pressure on a quarterback. I don't know if I could do that, and so Zach, he's bounced back really well, and he's wanting to win out the rest of the season. He's a good leader, and he bounced back fast.
And how important do you think the running game is going to be in these games moving forward now? Now that you got Army and Navy behind you, traditionally against Hawaii, when you've beaten them bad, you've run the ball like crazy. Like getting back to that, like do you think that's going to be the key?
I think just playing like ourselves is going to be the key. If that's running, if that's passing, yeah, our offense is going to do what our offense does.
Okay, is this for Caleb?
Yes.
Okay. Caleb, I was just wondering, you're facing a team that some changes just look all the time and everything. Well, how hard was the preparation, especially coming off the game against Army?
You're saying Hawaii changes their front a lot?
Yeah, changes the team personnel a lot, and they sort of evolved, and I'm not sure if it's better, but it's evolved a lot during this season. What would make the preparation like for this game?
Well, luckily there's academic requirements to get into our school. We got a lot of smart guys up front. I think we'll be able to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Stephen?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
I got one, Caleb, just because I don't know when we're going to get to talk to you again. You've got 3 games left here at the Air Force Academy. Is it one of those bittersweet things for you where you're trying not to think of the end, but it is close?
Yeah, we have three more regular season game, hopefully conference championship we host, and then a bowl game. And so just in perspective there, we have 5 more games, so we have a lot of season left to play. But I'm starting to realize like it's coming to an end. It's really sad. Like this could be it, because I don't know if grad school will work out. I don't know if I do have like a guaranteed another season. Hopefully it does, and I have some more games on my plate. But if it doesn't, like this is one of the like greatest teams I could have played with for my last year.
First of all, how do you guys as a team put everything behind you and move forward?
It's hard, but you just gotta start the preparation and get ready for this weekend.
Has there been a team meeting or anything? I remember a couple years ago, it was 2019. You guys were 3-2. You weren't on the team yet, but you guys were 3-2. Had just lost to Navy. It was like the low point of the season, and then eight wins in a row followed that. And I know there were some team meetings, some things were said. Like, have you guys had that come together moment, or is it just kind of business as usual?
Yeah, we had a team meeting on Monday, and we reflected shortly, and it was on to the next and what we have to do from here on out to continue to prepare better and to execute better.
And obviously it's a massive silver lining to know that you can still play for the conference championship. Like, is that where your head goes? Like, hey, we got to rebound because every game still matters. Like, how do you kind of compartmentalize everything?
My way of doing it is we need to win the game this week, and then we need to win the game next week, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
How you doing, Alec? Good. So a contrast defensively this week. You go from ground and pound to them airing it out. How do you adjust to that?
Just shifting what we're doing in practice. The scout team guys give us great looks every week. They do a great job of doing what they need to do, and then we have to prepare accordingly.
Just the trip to Hawaii, what are your thoughts on that, and getting away and going to an exotic location?
I don't even know. I don't think I've ever traveled that far, ever. So I'm interested to see it presents a new challenge for keeping everyone focused, and hopefully we all take it well.
A lot of history in that state as well. You guys playing on Veterans Day. Have you kind of talked about, what that means and the Air Force means in that state?
Yeah, I think every time we put on the uniform to play, I think we represent a lot of people and a lot of history. So being able to have the uniforms and the Doolittle Raiders and pay respect to everyone involved and all the armed forces, really, it's an honor, and it's something we strive every day to be able to represent well.
Not to keep going back to Saturday, but kind of what went wrong on the tape, especially in the first quarter, kind of running up the middle.
We knew if they wanted to run the quarterback that we were going to need an extra fitter, and it caught us a little off guard, I think, on that first drive. But I think we made adjustments and did the best that we can to adapt to that. But there was a lot that went wrong, everything. So we just got to prepare this week and be better.
This is several weeks now where you've gone from pass heavy to run heavy, pass heavy to run heavy. Like, are you guys into that rhythm now where that's easier, or is it still every week just presents its own challenges and what happened before doesn't really play?
Yeah, that's how I look at it. It's I think we can look at the things we did in the past game to know kind of technique-wise what we need to get better at and everything, but I see it as just every week it's something new, no matter what, how similar or how different. That's kind of how I see it.
How much pass coverage will you be involved in this week versus other schemes, just because they've spread it out and, are so reliant on that?
Yeah, it really depends on pressure and everything, and I'm confident that our D-line will be able to get after them a good bit, so I don't know, we'll see.
Okay. And from a health perspective, how are you feeling?
I'm good. I struggled with cramps a little bit, but other than that, I'm healthy.
Is that all that was, that
Yeah,
kept recurring?
yeah.
Okay. Well, going into a warmer climate, is it a hydration related thing?
I'm not sure. We have worked with Getty closely these past couple weeks, trying to map out a hydration plan and everything. So we're just trying to tweak and fix things, and hopefully won't have to deal with it again.
Steven, go ahead.
Yeah, it just seems that no matter what kind of coverage you guys use, you guys are such incredible tacklers and everything. I know your practices are limited by time and everything, but how much do you go to on the tackling and getting ready for teams further out?
Yeah, we do. We practice tackling every week, and we can't get bored with the basics of playing defense, and that's a big staple is not having missed tackles and being able to tackle in the open space.
And the swarming, it seems like everyone just gets to the ball. Is that just a matter of just practicing together, or just working out a lot, or just being smart and unselfish?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone on the field wants to make the play, and you can't assume that anyone else is going to do it. So everyone flying to the ball is really just goes to show like the culture of our defense, I think.